Hari Om Tat Sat. Sambandhino satornasti nivritihi sahajasya tu karma kshayat prabodhacha nivartete kramadubhe. The mutual identification of the ego and reflection of consciousness, which is very natural, does not cease to exist as long as they are taken to be real. The other two identifications disappear after the wearing out of the results of karma and the attainment of knowledge of the highest reality. That is the universal consciousness, identifying itself as separate entities because of its association with ego that resides in every individual body-mind. And a very common popular example is the pot, the earthen pot with water inside. If we simulate that to body and mind, and the intellect and mind are the water and the pot itself is the body, when this water reflects the sun of consciousness in it, then the pot thinks that it is a separate entity having consciousness in it. But actually it's the same. No matter how many earthen pot you bring in with water, the conscious is nothing but the same. Now this association with ego is something we can see in science, in real life as well. This is my interpretation. So in neurology, we see a lot of patients with this condition called alien limb phenomenon. And you might have read it as well. So in this condition, there is a damage to the inferior part of the parietal lobe, the part that helps us identify ourselves as the self, that is me consciousness. This is me, this is he, this is she. So this identification is secondary to this part of the brain. Now, when it gets damaged from different disease conditions like stroke or trauma or tumor, there are certain degenerative diseases with abnormal protein accumulate in here, like in Alzheimer's, corticobascular degeneration. There are many conditions where you have this part damaged, as a result of which people lose this identification. Now what happens here is it's not like the entire thing is lost, part of it is affected, so a part of their body feels like it's not there anymore. It has consciousness, it is capable of doing things, but it feels like it doesn't follow their command. Like suppose somebody has an alien arm, that arm feels like does his own thing. If he wants to raise, the person himself wants to raise that hand, it won't obey that and would do whatever it feels like. And people get so debilitated from this condition, they even go to the extent of amputating that limb in order to feel better, as if there is another person existing in their own body. So how do we correlate this with what we just read? Is that this body and mind of that person is like the pot with water. Now break the pot, make it into two halves or two containers, and the same water is split in those two parts of the pot, now reflecting sun. And because each individual part, the part of the same thing, is thinking now that they're separate entities because of their ego consciousness that associates itself with the consciousness, thinking that, okay, this is me, this is a separate thing. But actually they're all the same. Like the person's arm, though feels, has its own mind, they're all the same. At a higher level, he knows that this is his limb, but it's just not following its mind. So mind is definitely not ultimate, that we can see here in this example. And the consciousness is not a result of the mind, that we can also see in this example, right? So the consciousness is the primal, the first thing. The body and mind appear in it. All right. If you have any questions, if you'd like to discuss about this further, please type in the chat box. We can talk more. Hari Om.